Hey everyone, this is Mike, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new and improved Ninja from 5.1. If you've seen my level 80 overview of Ninja, some of those things will still apply, but a lot of things have changed since then. So other than just some basic stuff about Ninja, the job basically feels like a whole new job right now. Because of how the ninjutsus work, Tenchi Jin's been changed, Kasatsu's been changed, Shadow Fang is no longer a combo action, Ninki is different now as well. And Trick Attack has changed quite a lot as well. So a lot of things about Ninja have been changed, so we're going to talk about those changes today. After I've talked about them, I'll also show kind of how they work. And then after that, I'll also do like a 2-minute dummy rotation and then kind of go over what I'm doing and why I'm doing that kind of stuff. Now, of course, the way I play Ninja might not be the best way. Well, it's probably not the best way on how to play it now. But I do know kind of the basics of what you need to do in order to at least have some kind of good DPS output. So I'll just be showing what I do, and if you then do that, you'll basically know the basics of how to play Ninja. Again, the Balance Discord is kind of trying to figure out what the best and the most optimal way is to play it now, and also with gear. So you can go over there in like a few days probably, once they figure out what the best possible rotation is, and then learn from there. But what you're going to be seeing here today are the basics, how all the skills work, how Ninja now flows, or at least how I think it should flow. And some of all of that other stuff. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about one of the most important things when people think about Ninja. They think about Trick Attack, and Trick Attack has been changed quite substantially. So it is no longer a positional to apply the effect. You still want to execute it from the rear because it does more damage when you execute it from the back, but the effect where the boss takes increased damage can now be applied from anywhere. So there's no more missed trick memes. As long as you have your Sweeton up, you can hit your Trick Attack from wherever you want. It's only the potency of your personal DPS, I guess, that's affected if you don't hit it from the back. Now, with the additional effect, the damage that the boss takes and the duration that it lasts has also been changed. So it went from 10% damage increase to 5%, but it also went from a 10-second duration to a 15-second duration. Now, this is actually a really big buff, even though it's technically a nerf. Reason being is that a lot of other jobs, when it comes down to the openers and burst phases, they're always trying to plan around Trick Attack, meaning that when they had a ninja in the party, they had to sometimes change their opener so that it would be better to fit stuff under Trick. But now, with a Trick Attack that lasts longer, those jobs can actually do their best DPS opener for themselves, and most of their stuff will still land under the Trick Attack regardless, because it's now 15 seconds. The fact that it's now also 15 seconds means that it will line up with other stuff, like Chain Stratagem, Divination, Battle Litany, Battle Voice. I think those are 15 seconds as well. Might be 20 seconds, I'm not sure. But basically, it being 15 seconds makes it so that it lines up a lot better and is more streamlined, I guess, towards the other raid buffs as well, as most of them last longer than just the 10 seconds that the Trick Attack normally used to last. So Trick Attack being 15 is really cool. It's also kind of a necessity for your own personal DPS, because your own personal Trick Attack window has been changed quite a lot, and it's kind of difficult sometimes to fit everything under these 15 seconds because of how the other stuff works now. Other than this, your Shadow Fang is also not a combo action anymore. It used to be a 1-2-3 combo. Right now Shadow Fang is a independent GCD. It's on a 70-second recast time, but it is affected by skill speed, and it is again affected by your Huton as well, which is your attack speed buff. So basically, this thing will be about just under 60 seconds. I'm currently running a very low skill speed build on my Ninja, which actually I kind of want to try out a higher skill speed build now, after I've been hitting a dummy for a little bit to test out some stuff with how Trick Attack lines up with that. But basically Shadow Fang, it will be somewhere below 60 seconds, meaning that it lines up with your trick window, aka use Shadow Fang every time you have your Trick Attack up. Then your Ninjutsus and your mudras. This is probably the biggest change to the whole job, and it is the fact that your Ninjutsus and mudras now kind of flow like dances, I guess you could say. So your mudras themselves, they are now on the GCD, and your ninjutsu is also a GCD now. So if I'm gonna execute this, like for example, say I hit the boss, now my mudras are on that GCD as well. So if I want to use them, it will actually get my GCD rolling as well. And then of course if I do an offensive action, it's the exact same thing. So ninjutsus, they don't clip into your GCD anymore because they are now part of your GCD. I personally think this change is really great. The fact that your ninjutsu button itself, when you cast the ninjutsu, is 1.5 seconds recast, means that you can weave in between this. So if I go out of combat real quick and I get all of my charges back, then I can show that as well, because now basically it makes it so that you can execute multiple ninjutsus in a row while also being able to use off-global cooldown abilities, which is extremely valuable for a ninja, because you have so many off GCD that needed to be weaved, makes it so that ninjutsus now being a GCD allows you to also weave stuff in between that. So I'm just gonna go and hit the boss with a few ninjutsus, probably not the best way to do it, but at least will give you some kind of an idea of how it all flows together. Tenshijin, of course, also has become a GCD kind of thing now, with the ninjutsus being different. So yeah, as you can see, you can weave a lot in between. It also feels very smooth. It flows incredibly well. So yeah, ninjutsus now being on the GCD is incredible. Other than this, Kasatsu has been changed as well. Now it's only a 60-second recast ability. It doesn't have 2 charges anymore. Basically, you want to use Kasatsu once under every trick attack. When it comes to trick attacks as well, you want to fit in 2 Raiton from your normal ninjutsus as well. Once I do the 2-minute dummy parse thingy, you'll see that in action as well. Then Dream Within a Dream, Assassinate pretty much stayed the same. It's just that the Assassinate ready buff now lasts for 5 seconds longer, so that you can basically always have this ready under your trick. Hellfrog, Bava are the same, just that they're nerfed in potency, because right now you only need 50 Ninki gauge instead of 80 in order to use these. So it means that you have more access to them more easily, so that's why they're nerfed in potency slightly. Tenshijin, huge overhaul. You saw me using it before. I'll use it later as well to show how it works now. But basically before you had to press the mudra, then the ninjutsu, mudra, ninjutsu. But right now you just go mudra, 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 and you're done. Meisui also got changed. Well, didn't really get changed, but because the Ninki changed, Meisui is now really good. Basically it means Meisui is always a DPS gain now. Since it's on a 2-minute recast timer, lines up with Tenshijin, lines up with your trick attack, meaning that you always want to Meisui once every 2 trick attacks to get that extra Bava Kakra under trick in. When it comes to all of your ninjutsus themselves, they have all been upped in potency to make up for the fact that they are now GCDs instead of GCDs. And then last but not least, Bunshin also got quite the rework. Before it gave you I think it's like a 10-second buff under which every GCD would trigger the dual attack. But since your ninjutsus or your mudras don't affect Bunshin, they've basically made it so that when you use Bunshin, you now get 5 stacks and they last for 30 seconds in total. And every time you execute a GCD, it will basically eat one of those stacks. And then when you execute a ninjutsu, it doesn't eat those stacks. So the ninjutsu GCDs don't count towards your Bunshin, but your normal GCDs do. So that's basically all of that. When it comes to Ninki generation, you're gonna generate 5 Ninki per action, but Shadow Fang, Aeolian Edge, and Armor Crush will generate 10 Ninki. You don't need to hit your positional to get the extra Ninki, but you do need to hit the positional to get the extra damage. If you don't remember, Aeolian Edge you execute from the back, and Armor Crush you execute from the side. Other than this, Mug is now 2 minutes as well. This will increase Ninki gauge by 40, so it's a little bit nerfed, kind of, because you don't get as much access to it, but on the other hand, it lines up with that 2-minute window again. So your 2-minute trick attacks are going to be a lot stronger, because you do have that Meisui, you do have that Tenshijin setup, and you do have that Mug in there as well. So right now I'm gonna switch in between jobs real quick, so that I can reset my Ninki gauge. And then I'll show off how Ninja kind of plays on the dummy. Allows me to switch, there we go. And I'll wait for my Bunshin to come back. Now, of course, I'm not sure if this is the correct way to play Ninja. This is just kind of what I came up with, and it kind of works for me. Of course, we don't have ACT yet. ACT is currently not working because of the 5.1 patch. They seem to also have changed some stuff behind the scenes, so the people on behind ACT are currently working on trying to get it to work again. But we'll have to wait and see how that works out, unlike how much DPS Ninja actually does. But first impressions, seems like it's doing a lot of damage. So let's get started. First of all, of course, we apply our Huton, we hide to reset our mudras, hide is still there. And then we go from there. So precast Suiton as always. I'm gonna Meisui here, and I'm gonna use my Tenchi Jin later. I'm gonna precast my Bunshin, and after I use my Tenchi Jin, I'm immediately gonna trick. And then we basically go into the trick attack window in which you wanna fit 2 Raitons and a bunch of other stuff as well. There we go. And that is pretty much the trick attack over. Doing it like this makes me fit 4 Bunshin like GCDs in there. It makes it so that I can fit 2 Raitons, 1 Hyosho Ryanryu, I have my Baba Kakra, I have my Mug, I pretty much have everything under there that I would want to have under there. Now, going from here, I'm going to be waiting from using my Ninjutsu again until my trick attack is less than 20 seconds. Now, the reason for that is because you can precast the Suiton 20 seconds in advance, and doing it like this makes it so that you will have 1 full Ninjutsu ready for when your trick attack comes up again. Now, the main reason why I want to experiment with a faster build is because I want to trick after I use my spinning edge, whereas right now I'm basically delaying trick attack by 1 GCD. So as you can see, Raiton, oh, I double weave there, which I shouldn't have done. Hyosho Raiton again. Gonna keep my GCD rolling, because you don't break your GCD anymore, but the combo can fail, of course. And there we go, trick attack over again. Bunshin's about to come up, basically every 3 trick attacks, I believe it is. Or every 4 trick attacks, like every 3rd minute trick attack. You can have your Bunshin under trick as well. Of course, during Bunshin you generate more Ninki, because your Shadow Clone also will generate some Ninki for you. Over here, our Meisui is about to come up, so we're going to hardcast a Suiton here, so that we can get our Meisui. Of course, Meisui generates 50 Ninki, so we do want to dump our Ninki before we use the Meisui. And then we can use our Tenchi Jin to set up the next trick attack. So we use TCJ. We have our Suiton again. Up, we trick. Right on 1. Keep that GCD rolling. Hyosho. Right on 2. Get our Shadow Fang up. Use our Aeolian Edge. And then we can do another to finish that off. I could have technically double weaved there. I don't like double weaving on Ninja. I'm not sure if it's better to clip and have it under your Ninki or under your trick than it is to not clip and not have it under your trick. But yeah, so that's basically Ninja. It feels really good to play. I'm really enjoying it right now. Definitely going to be gearing it up as well. Again, because right now Ninja just feels amazing. It flows really well. It feels like this is kind of what they intended Ninja to be. There is no clunkiness anymore. I guess if you have really bad ping, you'll still kind of have the... you'll still have some lag, I guess. But it's at least not as bad as it used to be. So yeah, it feels really good. I'm really enjoying it. And it's a really cool job. The like the Ninki aspect, the double weaving shenanigans is all gone. You feel like you're an actual ninja with all of the ninjutsus that you're going to be using. And all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's Ninja. It's really cool, it's really fun, it's very different, so if you're somebody that dropped Ninja because it was way too clunky for you, definitely revisit it. If you're used to playing the old Ninja, this job feels completely different now, so it's gonna take a little while to get used to it again. But overall, my opinion, like, it feels good, it feels really good. Tomorrow I'm going to be bringing out another video talking about Samurai as well as Summoner, because they underwent some smaller changes as well, but at least noteworthy changes to be talking about as well, or to at least show off. So they'll have their own separate video. But for now, that's Ninja. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.